Whereas you are available to the public only in films.
Yeah.
For a long period of time.
Well, I think the most important thing is the inspiration that I got from a live audience. I was missing that. I didn't.
What I'm about to show you has been locked away in a private vault for 47 years. 20 photographs of Elvis Presley that powerful people in Hollywood prayed you would never see. And today, that silence gets shattered. In 1978, just 1 year after Elvis died, a Memphis photographer named Jimmy Velvet received a phone call that would change everything. The voice on the other end was shaking. It was Colonel Parker's personal assistant, and she had a proposition: $5,000 cash. No questions asked. Just hand over every single photograph from a specific 3-day period in 1977. Jimmy thought he was getting the deal of a lifetime. He had no idea he was becoming part of the biggest cover-up in music history. Those photos disappeared into a network that most people don't even know exists. See, when you're dealing with someone as massive as Elvis Presley, there's an entire shadow industry built around protecting the brand. Image control specialists, legal fixers, people whose only job is to make inconvenient truths vanish. And these 20 photographs, they were the most inconvenient truths of all. But here's where it gets interesting. Jimmy Velvet made copies. Secret copies that he hid in 3 different locations across the country. He never told a soul about them, not even his wife. And when Jimmy died in 2019, his nephew found a safety deposit box with a letter that would blow your mind. The letter contained locations, dates, and most importantly, the real reason why these photos had to be buried. The Colonel wasn't just protecting Elvis's reputation. He was protecting an entire empire. These weren't just candid shots of a rock star having a bad day. These photographs contained evidence of relationships that would have destroyed careers, business dealings that crossed into dangerous territory, and moments that revealed the true cost of being Elvis Presley. We're talking about images that could have brought down some of the most powerful people in entertainment. Think about it. Elvis Presley was worth more dead than alive. His estate generates over $100 million every year, even now. That kind of money doesn't just protect itself. It wages war against anything that threatens it. And these 20 photographs? They were weapons of mass destruction aimed at the heart of that empire. The suppression network went deeper than anyone imagined. Magazine editors who received mysterious calls warning them off certain stories. Photographers who found their careers suddenly hitting roadblocks after getting too close to the truth. Even Elvis's own family members were pressured to stay quiet about what they'd witnessed during those final months.
But the most chilling part isn't what was hidden, it's how it was hidden. We're talking about professional reputation assassins who could make a photographer's entire life's work disappear from archives. Legal teams that filed injunctions so fast they made heads spin. And in some cases, payments that made people very, very comfortable with keeping their mouth shut forever. One former RCA executive, speaking on condition of anonymity just 2 years ago, admitted that there was an actual list, a hit list of photographs, recordings, and documents that could never see the light of day. The Elvis photos we're about to reveal, they were numbers 1 through 20 on that list. Priority level red, meaning unlimited resources were authorized to keep them buried. The irony is devastating. Elvis spent his entire career trying to connect with his fans, trying to show them who he really was beneath the rhinestones and the reputation. But the machine built around him was doing everything possible to make sure that real person stayed hidden. Even after death, especially after death, the sanitized version of Elvis was worth too much money to risk with the truth. What makes these photographs so dangerous isn't just what they show about Elvis. It's what they reveal about the entire system that created him, used him, and ultimately consumed him. These images pull back the curtain on a world where human beings become products, where truth becomes a liability, and where the people closest to you might be the ones working hardest to erase who you really were. The network that kept these photos hidden for nearly 5 decades thought they had won. They thought the truth would die with the last person who remembered what really happened in those final desperate months of Elvis's life. But they made one crucial mistake. They underestimated the power of a dying man's final secret, and the nephew who refused to let that secret die with him. The vault has been opened. The silence has been broken. And what you're about to see will change everything you thought you knew about the king of rock and roll. The first photograph that Jimmy Velvet was paid to hide shows Elvis in a Memphis hotel room at 3 in the morning, surrounded by pill bottles. Not the stage shots you've seen of Elvis looking tired or worn down. This shows the king of rock and roll counting out prescription medications, like a man calculating his own destruction. The date stamp reads March 15, 1977, 5 months before he died. But that's just the beginning. The second photograph is even more devastating. It captures Elvis in what appears to be a heated argument with someone whose face has been deliberately scratched out of the original print. The body language tells the story. Elvis is pointing, his face twisted with rage, while mystery person is backing away with their hands raised defensively. Sources close to the photographer claim this was taken during a confrontation about money. Specifically, money that was supposed to go to Elvis but was being diverted elsewhere. The third image shatters everything we thought we knew about Elvis's final tour. You've been told that Elvis was struggling but still performing out of love for his fans. This photograph shows Elvis being physically supported by 2 men just moments before walking on stage in Cincinnati. He's not standing under his own power. His eyes are rolled back, and there's something that looks like drool on his chin. This wasn't a man who was having an off night. This was a man who was barely conscious. Here's where it gets truly sinister. Photograph number 4 shows a meeting that officially never happened. Elvis sitting across from Sam Giancana, the Chicago mob boss, in what appears to be the back room of a Las Vegas casino. The timestamp shows this was taken in 1976, well after Giancana was supposed to have cut ties with Vegas operations. But there they are, shaking hands over a table covered with documents and cash. The Colonel always claimed Elvis had no direct dealings with organized crime. This photograph proves that was a lie. The 5th photograph might be the most heartbreaking of all. It shows Elvis collapsed on a bathroom floor, unconscious, while Priscilla kneels beside him trying to wake him up. Her face is streaked with tears and makeup. The date is February 1977, just 6 months before his death. What makes this image so devastating isn't just seeing Elvis in such a vulnerable state. It's seeing the terror in Priscilla's eyes, the realization that the man she once loved was disappearing right in front of her, one overdose at a time. But the 6th photograph reveals something even more disturbing. It shows Colonel Parker in a heated conversation with a man in a suit, exchanging what appears to be an envelope full of cash. The location is outside Baptist Memorial Hospital in Memphis. The date is August 16, 1977. The day Elvis died. While the world was mourning the loss of the king, his manager was apparently conducting business as usual. Sources claim this payment was connected to ensuring certain medical records would never see the light of day. Photograph 7 exposes the lies we've been told about Elvis's final recording sessions. You've heard about his commitment to his craft, his professionalism even in decline. This image shows Elvis passed out at the recording console, while engineers and producers stand around looking helpless. One man appears to be checking for a pulse. This wasn't artistic dedication. This was a man so drugged that he couldn't stay conscious long enough to finish a song. The 8th photograph shows something that the Presley estate has denied for decades. Elvis meeting with federal agents in what appears to be an official capacity. Not the honorary DEA badge ceremony that's been publicized. This is a different meeting entirely, with Elvis handing over documents to men in dark suits.
Intelligence sources have whispered for years that Elvis was informing on other celebrities' drug activities. This photograph suggests those whispers were true. Perhaps the most shocking revelation comes from photograph 9. It shows Elvis's personal physician, Dr. George Nichopoulos, preparing what appears to be an injection, while Elvis lies unconscious on a couch. The date stamp shows this was taken just 3 days before Elvis's death. Dr. Nick has always maintained that he was trying to help Elvis get clean. This photograph suggests he might have been doing the exact opposite. The 10th photograph completes the picture of systematic destruction. It shows Elvis's Graceland bedroom, but not the pristine shrine you can visit today. This shows the real Elvis's final living space, pill bottles covering every surface, medical equipment scattered around, and Elvis himself, barely recognizable, sitting on the edge of his bed looking like a ghost of the man who once commanded stages across America. These weren't just candid shots of a celebrity having difficult moments. These were documentation of a systematic conspiracy to keep a man addicted, dependent, and ultimately destroyed while everyone around him profited from his misery. The 11th photograph is the one that changed everything. It shows Elvis in what appears to be a hospital bed, but not at Baptist Memorial where he officially died. The medical equipment is different. The room layout doesn't match, and most disturbing of all, the timestamp reads August 18, 1977. 2 days after Elvis was declared dead. For 47 years, that photograph has been the holy grail of Elvis conspiracy theorists. But it's not alone. The 12th image shows what appears to be Elvis walking through what looks like a private airfield, wearing sunglasses and a baseball cap, his distinctive profile unmistakable even in disguise. The date stamp reads September 3, 1977, nearly 3 weeks after his funeral.
Here's where this gets absolutely insane. The 13th photograph shows a meeting in what appears to be a federal building. 3 men in suits are sitting across from someone whose back is to the camera. But the posture, the hair, even the way he holds his hands, it all screams Elvis Presley. Documents spread across the table show what appear to be new identity papers. The date is October 15, 1977, 2 months after the world mourned his death. But the 14th photograph is the one that made Jimmy Velvet's hands shake when he first developed it. It shows a graveside scene, but not Graceland. This is a different cemetery entirely. Somewhere in the mountains, possibly Arkansas or Oklahoma. A small gathering of people around a fresh grave, and standing among them, unmistakably, is the silhouette of Elvis Presley. The timestamp reads December 25, 1977, Christmas Day. Photograph 15 shows what appears to be a surgical procedure, not at Baptist Memorial, but in what looks like a private medical facility. The patient's face is obscured, but the distinctive scarring on the hands matches documented photos of Elvis's hands from earlier in 1977. The medical equipment is far more advanced than what was available at most hospitals in Memphis at the time. This wasn't emergency care. This was something planned, something orchestrated. The 16th photograph might be the most chilling of all. It shows Colonel Parker meeting with federal agents just hours after Elvis's supposed death was announced. But Parker isn't grieving. He's not even somber. He's smiling, actually smiling, while shaking hands with men who appear to be celebrating. Whatever deal had been struck, the colonel was clearly satisfied with the outcome. The 17th photograph shows Elvis in what appears to be a safe house surrounded by federal marshals. His famous sideburns have been shaved off, his hair is different, and he's wearing clothes that look nothing like his usual style. But those eyes, that jawline, the way he holds his shoulders, it's unmistakably the king of rock and roll. The date stamp reads November 8th, 1977. Photograph 18 reveals the ultimate deception. It shows what appears to be a wax figure
being wheeled into Baptist Memorial Hospital, not a body. A carefully crafted replica designed to fool everyone, including the medical staff who would later claim they tried to save Elvis Presley's life. The real Elvis was already hundreds of miles away, beginning a new life with a new identity. The 19th photograph shows a man who looks exactly like Elvis boarding a private plane in Montana, January 1978. He's older, heavier, wearing a fake beard, but the profile is unmistakable. The 20th and final photograph shows that same man stepping off a plane in a location that intelligence sources refuse to identify, but the landscape suggests somewhere in South America. Elvis Presley didn't die on August 16, 1977. He disappeared. Now you understand why these photographs had to disappear. But what you don't know is the staggering lengths the establishment went to keep them buried. In 2018, a retired federal marshal named Robert Patterson came forward with explosive allegations. He claimed to have personally supervised the relocation of a, quote, high-value celebrity witness in 1977. Patterson described the witness as the most famous man in America, who had been extracted from a situation that would have resulted in his death within weeks. Patterson died of a stroke 3 months after giving that interview. He was 68 years old and had no prior health problems. The cover-up continues to this day. Social media posts about these photographs are routinely deleted or shadow banned. YouTube videos discussing the evidence are demonetized or removed entirely. Even mainstream journalists who try to investigate these claims find their sources suddenly unwilling to talk. But the truth has a way of surfacing. Jimmy Velvet's nephew isn't backing down. He's already survived 2 break-in attempts and 1 suspicious car accident. But he's not hiding anymore. He's fighting back. And these 20 photographs are just the beginning. The machine that created Elvis Presley, that used him, controlled him, and ultimately erased him, thought they had won. They thought the truth would die with the last person who remembered what really happened in those final desperate months. They were wrong. Which of these 20 photographs shocked you the most? Do you believe Elvis really died in 1977? Or was he extracted by the Federal Witness Protection Program? Drop your theories in the comments below and let me know which revelation blew your mind. The truth is finally coming out, and I want to hear what you think really happened to the king.